Great. Well, it looks like I don't have a mic that works, so I'm going to have to do it this way. Good morning to you, bright and early. Everybody's here. I'm Susan Hallam. I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about digital leadership today. Very briefly, in terms of introductions, there's a team of us. We're based in Nottingham City Centre. You'll notice as well that we have our lovely office dog, Rosie. We provide search marketing services for companies like Experian. We work with the Ford Dealer Network. We work with a range of small businesses. And very briefly, in terms of who I am, the first thing is I can carry a sword in public and drive my sheep across London Bridge. I don't know if any of you know what that means, but I'm a freeman of the City of London for services to the IT industry. I've worked here in the UK since 1985. My first internet workshop was in 1993. I've been doing this for a long time. By the way, I have been deported from France. This usually gets me a round of applause. You've noticed by now I'm not from London originally. I'm born and raised in Philadelphia on the east coast of the United States, but I've lived and worked in the United Kingdom for more than 30 years. From time to time, you may hear me on the BBC, you may see me, what I write on the Sunday Times, and I do speak at conferences like this, and what I'm known for is no-nonsense digital marketing. So what I want to talk to you a little bit about are some practical things in terms of leadership. What we want to think about in terms of leadership is a definition of what does leadership mean. Leadership is about influencing people, not telling them what to do, but encouraging them to do what you want them to do. And this might be through social media. It might also be like getting your web designers to do what you want them to do, your social media partners to do what you want them to do. And what we want to do is to achieve a goal. And I think leadership in digital media is that we want something to happen. A lot of leadership in digital media fails, in my opinion, because you have failed to define what does success look like. So what we need to know is when you're doing digital media, what do you want to happen? Now, the thing about digital media is it's this big. There's so much that we could be doing. We have, by the way, produced this really cool digital marketing map, which I do have available if any of you would like it in a poster format like this. Our stand is just right over there. I haven't been able to bring enough down from Nottingham for me, but if you give me your details, we'll happily post you a copy of our map. By the way, if any of you know what I mean by content marketing, we created this as a content marketing asset, and a company you may have heard of called Adobe has referenced this and provided us a link from our content marketing map. So if you want this, now the reason I showed this to you is because digital marketing is just so big. It could be search engine optimization, it could be content marketing, it could be email marketing, it could be your Google Analytics. So what we need to do is focus down in terms of your leadership, what exactly are we trying to achieve? I want to give you my secret sauce. Your digital marketing will usually comprise one of 4 areas of activity. The first area of activity is known as acquisition, and that means I want to fill my sales pipeline. I want lead generation. So we're thinking about what kinds of activity will help us with the acquisition process. From there, when people discover the fact that you exist, whether it's, let's say, on a Google search, we then need to go through the process called engagement. And what that means is people do business with other people. I need to know you and I need to trust you. So what are you doing within your digital marketing that positions your business as somebody I can trust if I don't know you and love you already? Thirdly, we need to be thinking about conversion. And what that means is I do what you want me to do. I subscribe to your newsletter. I buy something. I send in an inquiry. It may be that you want me to download a PDF. It may be that you want me to watch your YouTube video. Have you defined what your conversions are? Leadership is identifying what does success look like. Finally, we need to think about retention and loyalty. And what that means is when I'm your customer, you want me to keep coming back. You want to increase what I would call your lifetime customer value. So digital leadership, first and foremost, is about setting your strategy. And here is a very simple strategic framework for you to start with so that you know where it is that you're trying to go. Now, the next thing I think about leadership is sometimes I simply fail to understand what your business does and why I should trust you. I need to think about what promise does your business make me that will make me want to engage and buy from you. I need you to think about what do you do and why are you wonderful? and why should I choose you? And you need to put that information right on your website. So here, let's start with an example of a company called Yellow Shield. Business to business, they manufacture spill control products. And if you take a little look, they're making a number of promises on their website. Can you see it says 100% satisfaction? If you're not happy, I'll give you your money back. But there's a more subtle promise going on, and what it says right here is, need advice? Ring 0845. What are they promising here? That there's real people here, we are experts, and you can talk to me. So I want you to be thinking about, who are you? What do you offer? And why should I choose you? If we take a look at a site like this, what we might also want to think about is, what promise do you make in the Google search results? So if I were to search for any of your brands on Google, can you see, in this case, I'm searching for a company called SCM Pharma, and I want you to do a little bit of a health check for your business. We can help you do this, by the way. But if you were to do this, do all of you get your Google, this is your card, your knowledge card, triggering for your business? Super healthy sign that means that Google understands your business and brings up this information. Are you bringing up correct information in terms of this text that appears below your company name? You guys have all heard of meta tags, haven't you? This, of course, is your meta description tag. This is your promise that your company is making. Have you got a really lovely description saying something like, we are a leading drug contract manufacturer specializing in these areas? And the other health check I want you to think about is, do all of you get all 6 of your site links? These are a gift from Google. It's a super healthy sign that says, here are the 6 links that Google will provide for you, and are they the 6 links that you want? So the next part of leadership is making sure that you are getting the basics right. This is the beginning of digital marketing. So we could be looking at what promises on your website. We might want to look at, what do you look like in the Google search engine? I don't know if we have any businesses here who are involved in local service provision. Have you looked to see when somebody searches for, let's say I'm here at Excel, I was here last night, I simply put in the word restaurant. Restaurant, of course, triggers a local search. Google geolocates me to here and serves local businesses in the vicinity. So are all of you getting your local search working, or is this indeed part of your digital strategy? The big change that's happened, of course, on Google, by the way, Google are right here behind us. One of the big changes that happened on Google, I'm sure you've all heard of Google Local, Google Maps, Google Plus. It has transitioned, hasn't it, into Google My Business. So have all of you now claimed your business on My Business, where indeed you have your dashboard of all of your Google products, whether it be AdWords, whether it be Google Analytics. Digital leadership is about keeping up with all the changes that are happening, all the trends that are taking place with our major providers like the Google network. Now, I'm invited a lot to speak about social media marketing, about search engine optimization, but you know what? I'm never invited to speak about email marketing anymore. Email marketing is the Cinderella of digital marketing. And yet I remain convinced that email marketing has the greatest return on investment of virtually any of the digital techniques. So what you need to be thinking about in your leadership plan is, don't follow the crowd. Do what you think is right. Email marketing may not look sexy, but if this is going to be putting your business forward, this is what we need to be looking at. And with email marketing, I wanted you to know that this time last year, more emails were opened on mobile devices than on desktop devices. I'm sure you all read your emails. I can see you reading your emails while I'm talking, you cheeky monkey. And what I can see is, have all of you tested to see, what does your emails look like on a mobile device? Have all of you taken a look? And I want to give you a little quiz right now. In terms of email marketing, I'm sure you've all heard of spam. Do you guys get spam? We love spam. We all know spam. And did you know that what happens in email is that we look at the servers look at the content on the email, and they assign what's called a spam score. And certain words are very spammy. Can you guys think of what's a really good spam word? Viagra, extensions, free. all these kind of words. What do you guys think is the spammiest word? If it assigns points for the spammiest, what you probably didn't realize is the spammiest word you can think of is the word dear. Dear has the highest spam score on the service called Spam Assassin than any other word. Why would that be the case? When you send emails, do you actually use the word dear in an email? Of course you don't. You say, hi, Susan, or you go, hey, Susan, or you just start, don't you? The word dear is used for spam. So we need to be thinking in terms of your leadership. Are you keeping on top of these kind of factual things? Do you have a partner who alerts you to this kind of stuff so that you are providing the best kind of service that you can? By the way, 2 more words that have a high spam score are the words remove and the word unsubscribe. This is a pretty good signal that you're sending spam. Have you noticed on email sometimes people put little funny messages at the bottom? Do you want to leave our cool list? Well, you know what they're trying to do? They're trying to avoid the word remove so that they keep their spam score down. As we look at these different kind of things, keep in mind that if we're looking at email marketing, if email marketing is your gold dust is building that email marketing list, isn't it? Your gold dust is your email marketing list. If you're trying to build it, notice here that we have joined the mailing list in yellow. We've given it prominence. We really want to build that list. And what I wanted to really point out to you is that when somebody signs up for your list, on your website, do you give them a message that says, congratulations, thank you for signing up for our list. I'm going to give you special offers. I'm going to give you new stuff. Are you telling me I did the right thing of giving you my email address? But more importantly, when you have an email confirmation appearing on your website, do you get a URL, a web address that changes that you're then able to track? So in this case, I have a web address that says /confirmation, and what that means is I can count how many people signed up for my newsletter in my Google Analytics, how many people saw the thank you page. More importantly, I'm able to measure where did these people come from. Did they come from the digital marketing show and sign up for my newsletter? Did they come from another event and sign up? Are you able to track the source of your goals? Leadership is about setting the goals, but leadership is also about knowing how has this goal arrived? How did I get this information coming in? And by the way, here's my other favorite. I sign up for your newsletter. I give you the gift of my email address, and you come up with this stupid web page that says, thank you for your email address. At this point, start selling to me. Put a page on there. Your thank you page should have a video. Your thank you page should have an offer. Your thank you page should have a coupon. Your thank you page should make some kind of sales message. I've given you my email address. Start selling to me right away. Oops. So if we think about leadership, about being the process of social influence, trying to get people to do what you want them to do, it may be that you want me to find you in Google. It may be that you want me to sign up for your newsletter. It may be a goal that you want me to watch my video. But keep in mind, you can't make me do it. You have to influence me in a way that I want to do it. So in terms of leadership, I think and digital leadership, social media marketing has to be the way to go. Now, a lot of businesses will say to me, that's all well and good if you're selling trainers or if you're selling consumer products, but what if I'm in a business-to-business environment? How can I be using social media as a leadership tool? And I would like to refer you to the company called Maersk. I don't know if you know Maersk, but this is a shipping container company, big time, business to business. They think social media is so important that they have created a website called Maersk Line Social. And on this website, they have spelled out their social media policy, their social media philosophy from a business-to-business environment. By the way, I didn't mention this to you, but I will be making the presentation available for you guys if you want to download it, take a look at it later. So we have Maersk Line from a business to business point of view. But what we also want to be thinking about, if you're in business to business, if you want to position yourself as a digital leader, you got to generate great content. You need to position yourself as an expert as what you know. Here's a company called Guttridge. They are bulk materials handling manufacturer in Lincolnshire. They build conveyor systems. And in terms of their expertise, they are writing articles talking about 10 top tips for investing in mechanical conveyor systems. They are giving information away for free. Digital leadership is about giving this information away, because even if I give you my top tips, I'll still know a million times more than you about conveyor systems. So we can see, in terms of leadership, generating this rich content. Here, by the way, is a company called Contractor UK. And they're generating rich, rich content talking about what does the new budget mean for contractors. Do all of you have a content marketing policy that you're trying to create these leadership pieces that will position you as an expert that people will want to share? Now, I hate to say this, but I think content marketing is the emperor's new clothes. Digital marketing has always been about creating good content. There is nothing new under the sun. And I think content marketing nowadays means generating volumes of rubbish. Don't do it. It's about quality. It's not about quantity. It's about positioning yourself properly as a leader. Now, in terms of positioning yourself as a leader, how many of you have gone into Google and you're aware that Google, in addition to the web search, also has a news search? So in this case, I've moved over to the news section within Google, and in terms of leadership, I'm checking to see what's happening with my business. What does Google think about my business? And in here, you can see us speaking at conferences and publishing guides. Leadership is about persuading the right people that you are the expert in your field. And I hate to say it at a show like this, but the people you're trying to influence is Google. We need that they believe socially. And I believe also that Google is very interested in what's happening in the social space. I believe that social signals are going to be becoming the new link building signals, if any of you know what I'm talking about with search engine optimization. By the way, we're one of the top 10 AdWords agencies in the UK. I'm going to Google's headquarters next week. If any of you want to give me any questions that you'd like me to ask Google, drop by the stand and let me know. So I'm meeting with Google next week if any of you want to have a chat. And I think leadership is also about positioning your business correctly in terms of all devices. Here we have a series of apps that have been created by a company called PiAb, and these are vacuum automation apps. So what this means is on my iPad, I can calculate volumes and I can calculate what I need for vacuum devices. I have a product catalog, but what they're doing is making available all this information and the charts for the engineers. What does an engineer use when they're out on site? They use their iPhone, don't they? Are you making your information available in a format that can be digested on the correct device? And I'm not saying creating apps because they're sexy. I'm saying create an app because you're a digital leader, because you're creating the content that your users require that will make a difference in terms of people trusting you. In terms of leadership as well, how many of you are doing split testing? Did you know that you can create 2 versions of your homepage and that Google, for free, will serve either this one or that one, and you can learn which version of your website is going to get the most conversions, which version of your website has the lowest bounce rate. This is called split testing. And again, we have written a guide to split testing, and if you go Google it, we rank right up there. So again, in terms of leadership, are you getting advice to show you these are the things you should be trying? These are the things that you should be testing. And we can see Whole Foods doing a lot of this kind of experimentation. If you guys are looking for a really good example of e-commerce, I'd happily signpost you to Whole Foods. You know Whole Foods, batteries, bikes, all that stuff. Because if you take a little look, their design is an absolutely perfect user experience. They have rich information, they have great photography, they have comparison engines, and by the way, they also are encouraging people to leave reviews. Leadership is understanding what other people say about you is more important than what you say about yourself. We need to get other people saying nice things. By the way, anybody want to say nice things about me on Twitter? My name is Susan Hallam. If you do that, I'll tweet you back. Say nice things. And by the way, we can also see, whoops, if I go right back really quickly, is that indeed on their website they have embedded the social signals. It's understanding how important social is to the customer journey that people are going through on the Whole Foods platform. Now, did you notice Facebook is lurking on here? I hope in terms of leadership, all of you are aware of Facebook Zero. This is a fundamental change that's taking place on the Facebook network, that if your company has a Facebook page, it is highly unlikely that any of your fans are seeing any of your status updates. So I know a lot of businesses are very keen to get lots and lots of fans on Facebook, but you know what? They're not seeing you on their timeline at all. The only way they're seeing you is if other people are choosing to share your content. This research was produced by Ogilvy, and what it's showing is the reach of your Facebook content out to your fans. And to be frank, it's crashed and burned. This has happened already. Are you, in terms of leadership, are you keeping aware of what's happening on platforms like Facebook? Do you have a plan to tackle Facebook Zero? Do you have a plan to continue to reach this rich market who wants to interact with you on Facebook, but they're simply not seeing you anymore? So we can take a little look at Facebook, and actually social media drives me nuts. I see so many social media gurus. By the way, anybody that calls themselves a guru, that means they don't know how to say the word Charlton. Do you know what I mean? They're idiots. And what they say to me is, oh, I have 35,000 fans on Facebook. Or look, I sent out all these tweets. I'm really busy. These are the wrong measures. These are the wrong goals. These are utterly irrational measures. To measure your number of fans, to measure the content that you're going out is wrong. Instead, what I want you to manage in terms of real leadership on social media, I want you to measure 4 things. The first thing I want you to measure is what's known as amplification. How many people, when you send something out, then amplify it out over their own networks? That means what you're saying is good enough. They trust you enough to share it out to their network. On Twitter, this would be retweet. On LinkedIn, this would be sharing.